Hey guys, good day. Hey, I wanted to shed some light on a dream that TB Shores had. Her YouTube channel is Seek and Ye Shall Find. She had this dream back in February of 2016, and she put up a video about this dream. I'm just going to play it for a minute, and I want you to look at what she sees in this dream. I feel like this dream is probably the breaking point, the point at the tipping point when events are going to begin, because I think once these objects from Planet X and this whole Nibiru system are seen in the sky, I think the governments of the world will not let their citizenry just react. They're going to have to do something like start a war to get martial law going. So let me just let you hear a couple of her words.
This is the layout of what I saw. Clearly, this was the sun. I understood it was. Absolutely, no question about it. And then there was this, and that's pretty much the same sizing that I saw as far as ratio to size. Up here, there was another sphere that had this grayish look to it. You know how sometimes when you look at the moon, you see a sphere, but part of it is lighter and part of it is darker. That's what this looked like, but it was not the moon. It was another sphere that was in connection with this group here. And then over here to this side was a very small one. Now this is exactly what I saw in my dream.
So notice that what she sees here is there's some sort of orangey looking, whether this is the Nemesis, the star, I don't know which, a grayish one and a real small one. Notice that it's three objects along with the sun. So in her dream, she was driving to work one morning and she saw this. And when she got to work, some of the people there had seen it and they were talking about it. They were actually whispering about it, but it wasn't like all hell had broken loose yet. Some of the people didn't even really, some of the folks weren't even talking about it. But she said at some point during the day, they were all told to go home because they all knew something bad was going to happen. So I want to just pick up from how this dream connects with what I've seen in reality. So I've done other videos about Planet X and how it's going to be the judgment that's going to come. I contend that when this object is seen in the sky, or these objects, it's the fulfillment of Revelation 12:3, and another sign appeared in heaven, a great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. And these 7 heads and 10 horns are this TRAPPIST system. I've talked about it in previous videos where NASA, back in February 2017, they announced they found a, um, a brown dwarf star, a cold star with 7 planets, Earth-sized planets, but it's 40 light years away. When in reality it's right here, and this is going to be the cause as why people say this. I talked about this in Ezekiel 21. This is unfulfilled prophecy, where people will be literally flipping out. And when you say, "Why do you groan?" you will say, "Because of the news that it is coming. It is coming." This whole idea that it is coming. Every heart will melt. All hands will be feeble. Every spirit will faint. See, this is the Old Testament. Modern ministers today, that they don't bother reading the Old Testament. It's hogwash. It's gobbledygook to them. It's just not even looked at. We know that the words of Jesus make reference to this. I've been in church 50 years. I've never heard this once ever studied. When Jesus says, when he comes, there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars. And there'll be distress, perplexity, the roaring of the seas, the waves. People will be fainting and foreboding for what is coming upon the world. Something's coming. Here it is down here. For it will come to all those who dwell on the face of the earth. So this something, it is coming. And I can tell you right now, I know that this it thing is what's referred to in Isaiah 28. I mean, this is absolute calamity coming to the earth. So if you read Isaiah 28, it's really broken up into two parts. The first part of Isaiah 28 is the judgment on the northern kingdom, the modern northern kingdom of Israel, where there's this reference to Ephraim, and we know who Ephraim is. Ephraim's the United States. And in verse 2, it says that the Lord has one who is mighty and strong, like a storm of hail, a destroying tempest. I think this is an asteroid. It's going to come and it's going to hit the oceans like Ephraim Rodriguez spoke about, and it's going to make the water to overflow. He, the Lord, cast it down to the earth. This is probably some asteroid or some type. But when you get down to verses 14 and after that, look here, it changes from Ephraim, the northern kingdom of Israel, the modern version of that, which is the United States in the West. It goes to, therefore, hear the word of the Lord, you scoffers who rule this people in Jerusalem. That would be the Jews, the modern day Jews, the house of Judah. For these guys in Judah, they've made a covenant with death. They've made a peace treaty, some type of agreement. Is it Trump's agreement? I don't know. And with hell, with death and hell, says God, that they actually proclaimed to themselves, we have made an agreement. And the agreement has to do with an overwhelming whip that passes through. And it's referred to down here. This is the Lord saying, this says, I will sweep away this refuge of lies, this agreement of lies with waters will overwhelm the shelter. This would be the deep underground military bases that Israel has along all the other nations that they have. This water is just going to come in and just overflow everywhere. Then God says, then your covenant with death will be annulled. Your agreement with Sheol will not stand when the overwhelming scourge, when these planets come close, passes by. And look what it says. As often as it passes by, it will take you from morning by morning. It will pass through day by day. Look at it. It will be sheer terror to understand this message. Sheer terror. This is about as bad as it gets, guys. The prophet says it will be sheer terror to understand this message. Okay? That's what's spoken of in Ezekiel. Every heart will melt, all hands will be feeble, every spirit will faint. This is what Jesus is talking about. For it will come upon all those who dwell on the face of the earth. People will be fainting in fear, foreboding. This is right when the Lord comes. Are the pre-tribbers ready for this? This is what happens when he comes to gather up his bride. It's what it's going to be doing. If you go to Psalm 50, it basically says this. Our God comes. He does not keep silent. Before him a devouring fire, a mighty tempest. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth below to judge his people. The first thing he's going to do when all hell's breaking loose, okay, he's going to gather to me my faithful ones. This is the pre-trib rapture. It's really as the things beginning, as the events are beginning, he's going to gather up his faithful ones. So what I want to speak about here is this dream and what she saw and what I have seen and what we all know to be the truth about this lie that NASA's told us. If we go here and we look at this, okay, guys, I'm 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 just let me just jump back here. I'm trying to find it here. Where is it? It was a picture I had of yeah. If you've noticed, these chemtrails have gotten thicker and thicker in the morning and in the evening, and even during the day. They are trying to hide God's judgment. Remember, God's judgment is coming. He calls to the heavens above and to the earth, and he made his judgment is this system of planets, guys. This is his judgment. Now, why haven't we seen this over the years? Why don't we know about this? Well, I didn't explain this in the last video. The theory behind all this is this. Okay, so here's the sun. Here's our regular 8 or 9 planets that we have. This other system, this secondary star, this twin star that our own star has, that our own sun has, is on a highly elliptical orbit. Now, a lot of people say it comes around every 3,000 years. It doesn't. Gil Broussard, I think he hit the nail on the head. He says it comes around every 350 to 360 years. We've seen this before, but not in modern time. Here's a painting 350 years ago. People in Germany are looking up, seeing these huge objects in the sky. Over here, one big one here, one here. Here, this is one cycle ago. Here's 2 cycles ago. 2 huge objects in the sky, fire and brimstone raining down. This is what caused the Black Plague. This is what caused the Dark Ages 700 years ago. And I can look here, I got a picture of another one, of another 300 years before that. It's an English tapestry. I can't find it here, but it shows the previous. So what I want to say is this. I'm sorry, guys, I'm looking for this. So it's on a highly elliptical orbit. And they found this things. Our government found it around 1983, and then they went silent. Reagan went silent with the whole thing. That's why this is not known. This is something that was seen, 100 years ago, 200 years ago by scientists when they were first astronomers when they were first discovering the planets. This thing goes way out there and comes back. Now, Gil Broussard has taken the time to go through and to categorize. He goes into the Bible and he sees about every 350 years something huge, some event occurs in the Bible. You can see right here. This is what he's got right here. He says sometime around now we're going to see the 6th, 7th seal of Revelation. Here's a painting in 1697. I just showed you that painting right there. Okay. Here's that other painting I showed you 2 cycles ago with the 2 objects in the sky. Then there's the Chinese guest star from 1054. He goes through and categorizes every about 350 years there's some huge event. Then you get back here to Jesus' sacrifice. See, these objects got in front of the sun and basically blocked out the sun for 3 hours. You can go back through these events in the Bible that every 350 years something goes down, and it all goes back to the flood. Here's Noah's flood. Okay, so it's not 3,600 years. That's a rabbit trail that send you down. So what I want to show you now is pictures I got off a webcam. Let's go back to Teresa. Here's her. So it's the one object with 2 small ones, right? So I got some pictures off of a webcam in Webcams to Mexico. Here. I'm going to show you a couple shots of this. I'll zoom into them. So this is a shot back on this January 31st, 2016, Webcams to Mexico. Okay, right now, you can see, if you can see my screen, there's an object right here, like a bigger object, and 2 small ones, one bigger than the other, just like the picture, the dream that TB Shore saw. I think it's one of the planets with 2 moons. Here's something, here it is right here, and then here's the bigger moon and the little moon. And when you click through these pictures, you can actually see these objects orbiting this planet. They're all hiding this with the chemtrails and with these cloaking systems, but you can see faintly how they're coming through. I hope you guys can see it on the video. I'm going to go to the next. You can almost see them move. I don't know if you can see them move. Those things, look, there's the sun simulator shining on top of it. Okay, see, this object is outside of the sun simulator, but in front of the sun. The sun simulator is here. It shines like a big flashlight in our face so we can't see the objects behind it. That's the point of it. You can see it covers it up. Now I'm going to go back through it one more time, and you can see if you can see the objects orbiting. Okay, here's where it starts. Here's 2 objects, a little one here and a big one here, and a bigger one here. Next frame, they move. These 2 objects are rotating, orbiting around this planet. This is insane. This is so obvious to me. I tell people about this. They're so doggone stupid they won't listen to anything. It's really frustrating. Bottom line is this. TB Shore had a dream, okay? She had a dream, okay? Here's an object, here's another object, and a smaller object. Her dream looks exactly like my pictures I got off of the Webcams to Mexico. Here's a bigger object, a smaller one. So anyway, hey, I just want to let you know that go back to YouTube here and just remind you guys of this other woman here, this Universal News. Check out her videos. Every day she's got something new. These objects. Good afternoon. These objects are getting closer and closer. Look how big that planet is right there. Oh, how big on the horizon that is. This is going to freak people out when this goes down. It is going to freak people out. As the prophet says, it will be sheer terror to understand this message. But look what's going on here. If you keep on reading the prophecy, it says that the Lord, look at this is the Lord Jesus, the Lord will rise up on Mount Perazim, as in the valley of Gibeon, to do his deed. His strange is his deed, is what they're saying. The prophet says, and to his work. Alien is his work. I think what he's doing here is he's gathering up people for the harvest. I think while all this is going on, you go over to here. This is the harvest, I think, of the lukewarm. It's Revelation 7, harvest of the earth. People talk about, hey, there's more, there's only one rapture. If you look in Revelation, there's Revelation 4:1, there's the sixth seal and the seventh seal when you have the crowd in front of the people on the throne. I think here it is right now. The Lord's coming down, he's taking a sickle, and he is harvesting the earth right now. So he, that's the one who sat on a cloud like a son of man, that's Jesus. So he sat on a cloud and he swung a sickle across the earth, and the earth was reaped. So guys, that's about all I got today. I couldn't let this one lie. So sooner or later, we're going to be going to work here very shortly. We're going to look up in the sky, and we're going to see these objects. And hey, man, it's going to be crazy. So you're prepared to tell your fellow coworkers, friends, family what is going on. And when you groan, they'll say, "Why are you groaning?" You'll say, "Because of the news that it is coming." Okay, guys, have a great day. God bless you.